Last week I made a video called Just Beat It, where I explained why beating my dick is always the first option before I go through the pussy getting process. So of course, next question on everybody's mind was, what is the pussy getting process? Good question. But before we get started, we must first understand why this process even exists in the first place. Now most girls might say,
nigga, if all you want is pussy, then you need to go fuck with one of them hoes.
Now believe me when I say I'm completely on your side with this one. But while that may be true in theory, it also raises the philosophical question, where the hoes at? Why you think that's always the first question niggas ask each other? Because we don't even fucking know. Contrary to popular belief, almost no nigga has a girl in his phone that he can call just to fuck. And when I say just to fuck, I mean she wants dick, you want pussy, y'all fuck, and then you part ways. So basically, kinda like prostitution, but no money ever exchanges hands. No nigga has that. But what we do have is girls that are willing to fuck as long as they don't feel like a fuck is all that they are. So begins the pussy getting process. Now since this is an all-day event, you gotta have your mind made up the moment you get out of bed that pussy is what you want. Because if you wait too late in the game to start texting the bitch around 8:30, 9 o'clock, she's gonna have a pretty good idea where this is going. So you gotta start early. So now that you know what you want, it's time to figure out who the fuck you want it from. And to do that, you gotta text a minimum of 4 bitches. Because 3 of them gonna fall through. One gonna be on her period, one gonna get off work too late, one gonna know you just trying to fuck, and the 4th, well that's the one that's giving up pussy. But guess what? Now you gotta figure out which one is fucking which. That's bullshit. Now let's keep in mind, you didn't even start texting yet, and already 4 bitches just made you mad. You see how frustrating this is? If I would've just beat my dick, I could've came twice already, and went back to sleep. But when you want some ass, this is the extra shit you gotta go through. Now let's fast forward a few hours and a series of misleading questions later, you finally narrow it down to 1. But you're still Russian rouletting it because you don't know if this is the one on her period or if this is the one that's fucking. Because most bitches don't have the courtesy to tell you if they bleeding or not. So now you're back at the crib. And yes, you had to pick her up. And since fucking as soon as you walk through the doors against the rules and shit, you gotta put a movie on. And about halfway through she gonna look at you and say, I'm hungry. Jesus Christ. So let's recap. You initiated contact at noon, got to your house at 9. That's 6 hours of texting, 2 hours of lying, and 1 hour acting like you give a fuck. Add an additional hour and 35 minutes for a fucking movie you done already saw, plus the 8 minutes you spent cussing this bitch out in your head after she told you she was hungry. That is 10 hours and 43 minutes for pussy. It ain't this hard getting into heaven. Are you serious? Finally, after a long day of texting, convincing, pretending, picking up, and feeding, now's the moment of truth. Did you pick the right one? Well, better luck next time. Quick side note, as always, if you want to see a relationship question turned into a video, hit me up on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. The links are in the description below. Moral of this story, the pussy getting process fucking sucks. The amount of work you gotta put in compared to the payoff is never worth it. Now I understand that sometimes you gotta fuck. But remember this, fellas, the same nut you bust fucking a bitch is the same exact nut you bust beating your dick. The sensation between beating and fucking is different, but the end result, coming, always feels the exact same. Think about it.